Gentlemen, should I start this pod?
Yes, please.
It's feeling like a very special pod, man. It's feeling like a good pod's about to come up, man. There's just so much I want to talk about, so much I want to do. Yes. You are now tuned into, you are now experiencing the Mayor's Office Podcast, baby. Episode 70 of the Mayor's Office Podcast. We did this 70 times.
Wow.
I know some niggas out there that thought we were going to do it 12 times and quit. Joke's on you. Drop 58 more of them bitches.
Quick math.
And it's not just special because it's episode 70. It's special because I'm around a few good men.
Allegedly.
Decent movie.
Pretty good movie. Good catch. A lot of listeners didn't catch what I did there. But I'm your host, Ralph, a.k.a. the Mayor, a.k.a. the last Mayor Bender, a.k.a. Unk. I'm Unk now, guys.
Ooh.
I don't know if you're Unky. Aren't you Big Bro? I thought it was Big Bro.
Oh, 35 is Unk.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm Big Bro for three more years.
Yeah, Big Bro.
Okay, for those of you that did not know, we chose to record. Actually, we didn't choose to do anything. It just kind of happened, right? It just kind of.
That's what we do.
Yeah, the universe aligned. Today is my Earth Strong.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do this podcast by myself. I'm so glad on my birthday to be around not only the fans, not only the listeners and the watchers, but the owner of 1990 Studios, the man in charge, the man that I decided is going to, 1, be at my baby shower, 2, be at my wedding, and 3, be at every cookout that I run. Talk to him.
Hey, let's go. I'm holding you to it. You know, I'm going to make a note right now that I'll be invited to all such events, and I will be there on time. Yeah, what's going on? Happy birthday to Ralph the Mayor. We're excited for this one. Yeah, it lined up perfectly, man. It's your boy Stacks Edwards, Chris, 1990 Studios in the cut, ready to rock another podcast with the boys.
Crazy. Chris, word to the wise, if you're going to pull up to any of these events, there's going to be a lot of black people there. You got to come late. You come on time, you're early.
What?
I learned that the hard way.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'm just letting you know. Just a heads up.
I appreciate the heads up, man. I appreciate that.
I let everybody here know that I'm 32 years old, but I got to let everybody know there was somebody I met when I was 14 years old.
Oh, wee lad.
About 14, 15.
I was going to say, I was probably 14.
You were 14. Yeah. Grade 8 is, grade 9 is 14.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I was 15, so fuck, I've known this guy for, it's 17 years now.
Damn.
Good number, man. Favorite number, 17.
17 years, man. 17 years I've known this brother, and he's been there, man. He's been there. When I need a shoulder to cry on, he's there. I haven't cried in a long time, though. When I need advice, he's there. When I need someone to hate on me and keep me humble, he's there.
Always.
When it's my 32nd birthday, he's there. And I need to shout this brother out, Adriel Smiley, adrielsmiley.com. Talk to him.
I think we got to give a big shout out to Aquarius today, because this is big Aquarius energy on the podcast. So that's it. This is an Aquarius episode.
Big facts.
It lines up that it's 70, a round number. So the universe is on your side today.
I appreciate that. Yeah. Shout out to all the Aquarius out there. I don't know if we're thought to be negative on the zodiac scale, but I think I'm pretty positive. I think Adriel's pretty positive.
Yeah, we're rebuking that. We're positive.
Come on, man. Come on.
Taking it back.
How y'all feeling?
Feeling good. I feel like if it feels almost like 32 is somehow younger than 30. You know, like 30 was almost like you're getting older, but 32 is like you've settled into your 30s now. You've been here for a couple years.
Plateaued.
Yeah.
I hope not.
Hope not, but that's fine.
Like, what's worse than peaking in high school? Peaking at 32? Like,
crazy. And we know a lot of people that peaked in high school. You know who you are.
Yep. We're not going to name names.
Jeffrey. I'm joking. I don't know I don't even know if we went to school with a Jeffrey.
What Jeff, man?
Someone watching this has got stressed.
Fucking Sarah. You're not attractive anymore. You have 3 kids.
No, we actually know some people, though.
Yeah, facts. Let me take all that back.
You want to wish a good day to some people?
I do want to wish a good day to some people. Let me tell you the people I want to wish a good day. I want to wish every single person out there a good day. except for the creatives out there that are only creatives in their heart and in their mind. The people that are afraid of trying because they think they'll look stupid.
Ooh.
It's okay. Post that video. Edit that content. You're only gonna look stupid until you make it.
Okay, as that's comforting to some.
That's a good
But I
one.
get what you're trying to say, though. I saw where you're trying to land it.
The plane's kind of landing, yeah.
This guy
It's
said, you'll look
okay.
stupid for 7 years, but once you make it,
Yo, the only way to make it is to look dumb, especially in the creative field, in my opinion. Like, sometimes I don't want to record a TikTok, and maybe that's the TikTok that I get 500,000 views. Who knows, right? So,
yeah, I think it was Seth Rogen who said, giving up is the way you guarantee you won't make it. You know, it's like you got to keep going, then you might make it. But if you want to guarantee you'll never make it, then give up. So
Yeah.
that's what you're doing right there when you don't start.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of the loudest critiquers are people who would never do anything anyway. So they're just
100%.
kind of what's the word for it? They're just
Hating from the sidelines.
hating from the sidelines, man.
And what are you going to do with that time? If you are not going to post that video, the same time's going to go by. Might as well try. I know a lot of people that said, why are you doing a podcast? A lot of niggas are doing podcasts. Well, now I'm doing 70 episodes of podcasting. So it is what it is. So shout outs to all the creators out there that actually want to create. Don't be afraid to look dumb.
Don't be afraid to look dumb might be the slogan for 2025. Like, look dumb with your whole chest.
Facts.
Yeah, I like that.
Let's go through some 1970 facts, something that happened in 1970.
That's a big year, actually.
Yeah, honestly, as these years get closer and closer, what we see is more corruption. We see some laws being passed, like almost like too close to the current time.
More drugs.
More drugs, and it's things that you think happened like 100 years ago. I was talking to my friend about residential schools this week, and residential schools were going on in our lifetime.
Yeah.
And they make it sound as if it happened, in 1894, when this is in the 2000s.
Crazy.
So I think that's what I'm learning from all these historical lessons that we're going through. This one may be the most significant to some. Doesn't matter, I don't think, to any of us. But the Beatles break up in 1970. This is when they officially disbanded. Obviously, there was a little beef for a little while, but this is like, it's official. The Beatles are over with. Any thoughts about that, guys? Any heartbreak for you guys about that?
I'm okay. I'm
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
It was before my time, so I was like, I didn't know them when they were together. Mom's a big fan, aunt's a big fan.
Yeah.
But didn't affect me. I got a nice picture of them all in my basement,
Mm-hmm.
but that's about it.
Yeah. Jay and Dame hurt me more than this one. But still a rough breakup. Pete Maravich of Louisiana State becomes the first player to score 3,000 points.
Shout out Pistol Pete, man.
Yeah, this was a time when it felt like college basketball was like bigger or just as big as NBA basketball. I feel like now we don't have that as much because these guys are one and done. But it just reminded me of like a time when someone could be like, again, a big celebrity entering the NBA. Like we have that in a little bit, and almost like if you know, you know.
Yeah.
But not in the same way anymore. Like,
Yeah, I love the fact now that the NILs are a big thing. So it's bringing more of that superstar element to college basketball. So I like that. I like that aspect of it.
and it's good for kind of like the second tier of players because now these guys, your second contract is like $250 million. Like even someone like Jalen Green, who's good, is getting like 180 mil.
Yeah.
When he's
Getting a max
22,
extension.
23. Yeah. So it's like, even if you're, not the greatest, you're like, let me at least get an NBA, get that next contract.
100%.
But if you're not going to NBA ever, I feel like you have no shot. NIL, you could still leave a millionaire.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win.
Yeah, no, I agree. Especially because like you don't always get the best education. You're centered around football, basketball.
Yeah.
So at least that used to always be the thing, right? Oh, you're getting this great 5-star education,
Yes,
but like,
yes.
are you getting the full?
Especially the female hoopers too. That
Yeah.
the WNBA is so finite, at least for now.
True.
That you could have a college semi-star, make a little bit of change, and still make some type of living, even though they didn't make the W.
And they have the second league. I forgot the name of it now, but the second league that's been going on.
I think it's like Unrivaled or something.
Yeah, that's good. They have that as well, like another option. But yeah, you're right. Because some people, the pro sport they're going to is not going to make that much money. So to enter the workforce with a bunch of money in the bank from NIL is like, okay,
Yeah, that's blessed.
I can chill for a bit. I know we love to talk about conspiracies here and what did or didn't happen. February 11th, Japan becomes the fourth nation to put a satellite in orbit.
Oh, wow.
Now, do the Japanese people think that this didn't happen? That's my question, because on this side, we don't believe the moon landing happened. We don't believe they went into space like that. I wonder if Japanese people have similar ideas about, their country going into space.
Yeah, I read an article, a Japanese article.
Mhm.
I was reading it in their language.
Nice.
And it said that we don't believe a Japanese person went on the moon until a black person went on the moon.
Mm.
So that was like bar for bar. That was quotes. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I can't find the citation, but
Bar for bar.
checks
yeah,
out,
yeah.
checks out.
Allegedly.
yeah.
This one I think is pretty interesting. April 1st, President Nixon signs a Public Health Cigarette Smoking Act. This is the act that made them have to put warning on the packages. So
You ever smoked a cigarette,
no.
Chris?
Yeah.
But you don't anymore.
No, I don't smoke cigarettes anymore.
Give it up for Chris,
Yeah,
man.
thank you.
Everybody give it up for Chris, man.
Yeah.
I smoked a cigarette once in high school, and yeah, it just was not agreeing with me, man.
Yeah, it has never sat well with me. I've like casually dated a couple women who have smoked cigarettes, and like every time I like remember, I'm like, what am I doing here?
Yeah,
So that's that. Like, I don't have many icks. That's probably the one I'm like,
not your thing.
we got no shot. I didn't want to bring that up on the blind date because
Yeah.
your body, your choice.
Yeah. Well, nowadays there's so much better ways to get nicotine in you. I still figure it out.
Fair. You got better ways. Yeah. Do you guys feel that way about vaping too, or is vaping like I don't care if you?
I
vape
think
or not?
vaping's bitch made, bro. Any grown man that
Yeah.
vapes, I do not want to be around you, bro.
I agree.
You guys can make that a clip.
Yeah.
Well, I make the clips, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Decide to get it.
Yeah. I never was a vapor. I went right from cigs like a man. And now we're just a couple
little
zins here
weed.
and there.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we'll smoke weed, but
Obviously.
we're not stopping that.
Yeah.
Fair.
No warning package for that.
No.
Nah, I think if you're a grown man and you're smoking on a flavored vape, like there's something bitch made about you.
I agree.
Yeah, I don't want to judge, but I feel like
I'm
Fair,
judging.
fair.
All right.
I probably know a couple friends that do it. Cool. I still love you, but I think it's soft.
no, the worst is the people who smoke like the vapes like often
Yeah.
that they like walk with it like a phone.
Yeah.
That I can never understand. Because like they have your phone in your hand at all times. Some people like that I can kind of get, emergencies,
true.
maybe you have kids, whatever. But some people have the vape in their hand at all times, and it's like you could put it down.
If the vape is helping you relieve stress, then something's wrong at that point.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So that's when it kind of gets fiendish to me.
Yeah.
Like,
I could tell that you guys never been on the nicotine tip by these comments because I get it. I get it a little
fair,
bit.
that's
you
fair.
know, but don't do it. You don't need to.
I had a friend in I don't say elementary school, in middle school, who was smoking cigarettes.
Ooh.
And he would smoke cigarettes between the classes in middle school.
Yeah.
And we thought it was crazy. Then looking back at it now, even crazier.
How old are you in middle school?
13, like.
Yo, just 13 going
You're
out
trying
to
to
the
look cool.
section like in high school. You're just like,
Trying to look cool.
Yeah,
That's
no, he was
crazy.
actually addicted. Like, it was like,
oh shit.
I'm sure the people thought it looked cool, but he was actually like, you hold it open for me?
Yeah, we went to high school. A couple of people that were smoking cigarettes like at lunch and after school. And shit.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
like,
yeah.
You guys look whack, yeah. But,
Dude, we were cool, man. We were pretty cool.
yeah, well,
Allegedly.
if I went to your high school, we probably would have been bregins. So.
Yeah, I would have quit.
I would have.
I would have quit
Appreciate you,
cigarettes.
bro.
That's a real one. This is the last one. The first Earth Day was in 1970,
Okay.
April 22nd. That surprised me that they had an Earth Day that early.
Mhm.
I wonder what it was really about. I should have looked into that, but it's like they didn't care about the environment in 1970, So it's like, what was Earth Day even mean at that time? You know what I mean?
What is Earth Day? Just to keep green, right? That day?
Yeah, were you
Yeah.
supposed to do like no lights or no?
Oh, okay.
Environmental
yeah.
concerns.
Fair.
Yeah, I was at the no lights. I remember they had that in school. That was interesting.
Wasn't it like an hour or something like that?
Yeah, like,
It was a free nap.
literally. I'm like, all right. Like,
Thanking you.
I'm like, you're not teaching. Why teachers trying to teach in the darkness? I said, you're not getting this off. I'm sorry.
Come
like, I'm
on.
putting my head down.
I can't see.
Yeah, like, well, yeah, a crazy year in 1970.
Shout out to 1970. I was expecting more psychedelics, but maybe they're coming.
Yeah, we're getting to 70, so the drugs are on the way.
Okay.
Because cigarettes just became taboo in 1970, so
Oh, okay. Now we're getting to the shrooms. that's a vibe.
yeah. And I'm hoping to get some cult facts.
Mm.
I want some cult classics, as they call it.
Did I tell you guys the first time I did shrooms?
No, you did not.
Share
Okay,
this.
so it was university times, and there was a couple people that, you know, they did it a few times and whatever. And so they came over to my crib. And, you know, university, I was one of the solo people that had cribs, right?
Yeah.
Everybody came over and shit. And I was just on weed. Like, I was smoking. I was doing a little selling. I was doing my business. Cool, right? FBI, don't listen to this.
Allegedly.
In the States, they're like...
But they're like, yo, Ralph, yo, you want to do shrooms with us? And I'm like, yeah, these guys do shrooms all the time. Yeah, let me try it, man. I'm like fucking 21, 22. Let me try shrooms. So I try the shrooms. Nobody knows the dosage amounts. So I tried the shrooms. It's not hitting me.
Yeah.
It's probably like 1 a.m.
Oh, no.
It's probably like 1 a.m. And then everybody leaves, right?
Yeah.
So I get myself together. It's not hitting me. I'm like, man, I'm a big man, yo. I'm gonna fuck this, yo. So I'm good. I'm going to go sleep. You know what I'm saying? So I throw on Netflix. Back then, when you turn on Netflix, it had this bright red light. And it would hit.
Yeah.
As soon as I turned the TV on, the shrooms hit.
It'd be like that.
Things were moving that I didn't think could move. I was scared. I didn't know what was going on.
Oh, no.
The lights are off. So I turn on the TV, I turn on Netflix, and bro, the red light is probably typically 5 to 7 seconds. That felt like 43 minutes, bro, of the red light. I thought the demons were coming for me that night.
They were.
It was scary.
Yeah, they were.
I had a terrible trip, and I'll never do it again. So yeah.
Me and Chris are obviously pro shrooms.
Yeah.
But my first time, I had a moment like that as well when I thought I wasn't. I was like, I'm feeling it, but not really. And then I looked at my phone. And I tried to open Twitter and I said, no, I'm feeling it. so 100%.
Yo, that realization when you get high is like...
It's different.
Because you can't catch yourself. Like liquor, you can kind of catch yourself and, you know, slow down. But when you're like really high, it's tough to catch yourself. You're already in too deep. You have to just let the high pass, bro.
Yeah. And the moment that it happened, I think with liquor, it's almost like sometimes when you get up, you feel it. Or something happens, you feel it.
Yes.
I think with shrooms, it's almost like you could be sitting this whole time and I just look a certain way.
Yep.
And all of a sudden...
You better enjoy the next 4 hours, buddy.
Yeah. Something will hit and then you know it's on. Doing it by yourself, like coming up by yourself first time is crazy.
That's what fucked me up. I was solo.
Yeah, because you have no one to like feed off who's done it before. Be like, this is how it goes. You're good.
I was texting people like, yo, come back. Come back to the crib. But I was texting so fucked up. It was like gibberish, yo. It was like, Jibber got back to the crib. And niggas didn't know what I meant.
No.
Yeah, that's the thing with shrooms too, is like you can't, it's hard if you go down a certain rabbit hole in your mind to like veer off it and try to grab the wheel.
Yeah.
So if you do a thing like...
It's a spiral.
Exactly.
It's a spiral, yeah. But that was what I was scared of, like doing it myself. I was like, I don't want to spiral.
Yeah.
And I just like...
And you're by yourself?
Brother, I remember one time we were down, so it was like summer. We're all going for a walk we're in Whippy, so we're walking down to the lake, going on a little trip. Everyone's having a good time. Everything's great, right? Back then, I was a little paranoid about stuff, you know, whatever. And then everything was great. Everything was perfect. We're going down. We're running into people on the boardwalk, but like we're all being cool, nothing crazy. And then something just hit where someone's like, "Oh, there might be cops in the park because we're up by Hayden Shore."
goodness.
And as soon as they said that, I was like, "What?" and just freaked out. We walk into the park, car pulls in, it's just a regular car. I'm ripping down the beach.
No.
Bro, I thought there was like security guards with walkie-talkies. I had to call my boy, shout out Teason, man, come pick me up. The rest of the guys stayed there. He drove me home.
Yeah.
I'm in the car and I'm just like, yo, there's cops, man. They're coming. They're like, dude, you're fine. We're dropping you off. I literally like walked
You were
around.
that guy.
Bro, I walked around my block for like 2 hours just waiting, and I would take different routes because I was worried. I'm like, yo, people are gonna see me walking down the street. They're gonna call the cops or something. So I was like taking different routes so I wouldn't pass the same houses as frequently. And then just eventually when I'm like, I think I can go in, just went in, snuck down the basement, throwing a little entourage.
Yep.
Like I'm safe. You know in GTA when you get rid of the 5 stars?
Yo, that's what it felt like, bro.
This guy got home. I'm safe.
Chris thought that's what was going on.
Yeah, man. I had to outrun him.
Okay, before we continue with Big Bro, I think we got to celebrate your birthday in style. Got a couple little things here for everybody, so
Okay.
let's get suited and booted, all right? You know it's a party, episode 70. And of course, we got the dross, but we're going to, you know.
It's a party. Yeah, the audio listeners are wondering what the fuck we're doing.
This is why you watch on YouTube, okay?
I thought these were supposed to make noise.
I thought it was too. Where's the...
Don't kill me.
There you go.
There you go. Thank you, Chris.
But I think every time that someone makes a good point, I'm just going to let one of these fly. So all our audio listeners, the Mayor's Office podcast on YouTube, please find us, episode 70. Yeah, and whatever that is as well.
It's something.
Yeah, I think this is a good start to the year.
It is.
A good start to the year. I feel like the energy is right. I think as well, like, we're kind of early for rap in the year so far.
Very.
But I think there's still a lot of people are anticipating, Your boy has been setting the tone. But is this going to be like a good rap year, do you feel like? What does the energy tell you?
I feel like the hip hop energy is shifted for this year, and I think we're poised to get some top albums.
I want to agree with you, but I am dubious for this reason. Okay.
Talk to me.
Lil Baby's album was kind of shaky.
Crazy. Came and went.
Yeah, he has another one come in, so maybe that one will be better.
It does, yeah.
It was kind of shaky.
You're right.
Central C's album I liked.
I wasn't mad at it.
But it made me almost feel worse because I think he's like a mid UK rapper. So for everyone to be so impressed with his album, it's like, what does that say for where we're at with albums? You know what I mean? Because it's like, in reality, it's like, it's good, but he's really a mid UK rapper.
I think it's just, he is the closest star rapper that we have in the UK currently. That's like active.
Okay.
Like, don't count Skepta's of the world. Like, they're not super
Skepta's coming. New album on the way.
I hope it's good because Skepta bodied his, what was the track called? 10?
Yeah, 10. Yeah.
He bodied that on Central's album. But Central's like the current like star in the UK.
He's
and
a UK star.
Mid.
Yeah.
So it's like, what else are we getting out of there? But yeah, when it comes to North America, is someone that you're expecting?
J. Cole, obviously, I've said this a million times.
Sure.
Yeah, like I'm ready for the fall off. And it's crazy listening to Might Delete Later more now. I feel like the fall off is still going to be really good because Might Delete Later was really good.
Mm-hmm.
But I think now it will be received better.
Okay.
Like I think it will actually be received better. You know who I'm actually ready for, and I don't think they're going to drop, but is Ab-Soul. I'm listening to Ab-Soul's last album a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like him and J. Cole are like the two best rappers to me, like just rap ability wise.
Lyricism, yeah.
Yeah, so Ab-Soul, I would want to hear something more from him.
So you feel like J. Cole is poised to have the best rap album this year?
I think so. Yeah, and I think he's gonna have some crazy features. Either we haven't seen him do before, or coming out of left field. Like I think of this song that's Static Select, the Dave East and Method Man. It's like no one really sees that, coming together, but the song slaps. Like J. Cole might have some of those where it's like I didn't even know that he has a song with Rick Ross, and then all of a sudden it slaps. So that's what I'm seeing for J. Cole.
I can see that because this is the first time J. Cole's hyped up his album like to this level.
Yeah, his own album.
His own album. This is the first time that he's really like said, "Yo, you guys got to watch out for this."
Mm-hmm.
And he's been holding on to these songs. Like I feel honestly, he was gonna drop last year.
Same.
So I feel like he's just fine-tuning some things for this year due to XYZ. So yeah, I think Clips is going to be up there depending on who's producing most of that album.
Yeah.
Someone I know is poised to not have the best album this year is Kanye. I do not think Bully is going to be good.
Why do you say that?
The recent track record is just not quality.
You weren't with the Vultures?
No, there was a 1-2 on Vultures 1. Yeah, you know what's crazy? Have you heard Donda 2 yet?
No.
I have not heard Donda 2 yet.
Fair.
And that's been out for like 5 years now or something like that. I've yet to hear one song of Donda 2, and that's a real album. I don't know. Ye's track record is just weird. Like how he releases is weird. I have to respect Ye for being Ye, but...
Chris, there's a rumor that Bully is going to be an AI album. I don't know if you've seen that.
I heard something like that.
So people are saying that it might be an all AI album.
That's very Kanye.
How do you feel about that? Because that's something that's been like being brought up recently of like that's already happening. They're not telling us. Like Playboi Carti and Weeknd, their song. A lot of people think Playboi Carti's versus AI. So how do you feel about Kanye maybe doing like a full AI album?
Man, I mean, personally, I don't love it. I don't love the idea of it. Like maybe if it's good, there might be some listenability to it, but I just don't like the idea of. I just feel that's a slippery slope and a rabbit hole that we don't want to go down. If people start just like phoning it in and they're doing all these like AI projects, I feel like in the long run, it's just gonna water down the whole
Hip hop will lose integrity.
It's just gonna water everything down and make things feel even faker than it can be in this day
I
and
agree
age,
with that.
You know?
And I think Kanye doing it makes it worse because Kanye has been one of like the most leading sonic minds in hip hop we've ever had.
Yeah.
So it's like for example, if Lil Baby told us that last album I did was AI, we're like, all right, like I don't really care either way. It's not great,
It's
but
like,
it's
I figured.
like you know what I mean. Like it's like all right, you know, it makes more sense now, you know. But if someone like Kanye, I think it makes it worse because there are certain artists who, if they do the AI thing, you hate it more. It's an artist where you're like, it's not like Playboi Carti. I'm not a huge Playboi Carti fan, so people saying that his verse is AI, I don't really care because I don't think he's like pushing the genre forward. But at the same time, if someone like Smino has an AI record, I'm gonna be a little upset about it. So I think it depends on the artist who's actually doing it.
I'm tired of hearing AI leaks on TikTok videos. Like I've heard so many AI leaks in the last year and a half. I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
Drop or don't drop.
I mean, it's good for Allen Iverson. Like he's so relevant these days.
Very great score.
Very great.
Very great score. Good pull, Chris. I like that. Good pull.
Yeah, I think those are probably the rap albums I'm most excited for. I can't think of anybody else. What I do want to see is actually the return of the joint album. But from the top guys. I feel like we've had a bunch of joint albums from like middling people, like Uzi Future. I'm cool on something like that. Obviously, Dave Central C I liked, but I want to see more of the top guys do the joint albums more. Like when we had the rumor of a Drake and Wayne or Jay-Z and Kanye, but.
What was the last good joint album?
Probably Her Loss is the one that comes to mind.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Her Loss was good.
Because I'm not counting producer, rapper. Like Common Pete Rock was a good album. Metro and Future was good.
It was. I think Common P Rock was nominated for a Grammy, no?
Yeah. But they lost to you know who.
Yeah, your nemesis, yeah.
No, I love Doechii, but I just think it's interesting that she won. I'm like, do you think more of the voters actually know Doechii than the other artists? Like the other artists are like what, like Future, Eminem, and J. Cole specifically.
Okay, before I answer that question, do you feel like Doechii deserved to win? We all love Doechii, disclaimer. But do you feel like she deserved to win?
I actually want to say no, because the Grammys, part of it has always been popularity and impact. So it's like why you see in Record of the Year categories, it's like Taylor Swift, Billie Eilish. Like, you know, there's other
Sabrina,
artists. Like there's other artists putting out good music, but popularity is a part of who wins. So her album, I feel like the actual album itself was really good, but there's other albums that were really good and really popular. So I would say they kind of just chose one side of it and said, all right. Because in reality, how could she win and Macklemore also win? Like, these are the same awards show. You know what I mean? Like, how is that
it's true,
possible?
Even when Cardi got it for Invasion of Privacy, I don't think she necessarily deserved it at the time. Macklemore, that's probably the most glaring one.
Yeah.
But if we really pop down, sorry, go ahead.
No, Cardi's a good example because, again, the last two women to win the award. But I think Doechii's was straight on the quality of the music, which we think is incredible.
No, the music was good.
Cardi's was mostly on the popularity.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not consistent in terms of year to year.
There needs to be more versatility for the actual selection. And we need more transparency on how the selection's made. I did what? Did you watch the Grammys?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not to get in on the Grammys too tough because it's probably when this drops is way past Grammy time. But when they talked about The Weeknd right before his performance and how The Weeknd begged for transparency, and then they explained how they become more diverse, but the voting process itself is not very transparent. So I really want to incorporate somewhat of a fan vote as well, and just think about different things.
I'm not mad at that.
Unit sales is always a good option. Feedback from actual other artists is actually a good option. Why don't you make a panel of previous winners as well that have a little bit of a weight in a vote? I think that will go further because these are actually your peers.
I think that's probably the way they got to do it, is to have it be like you vote in your category, because that's the one thing I think is happening is people are definitely voting in categories I don't know about. Like, again, personally, I vote for the Junos. They ask me every year what categories you want to vote on. I'm not telling them have me vote best country album in Canada. I'm not familiar with that. So I, vote for the categories that I'm comfortable with. I feel like, I don't know if the Grammys does that, but I feel like that would change it, because if would all of hip hop voted for Doechii, Like my guess would be like maybe there's older people who might vote for Common and Pete Rock, who had a great album and are both legends in this game, and maybe the younger crowd mostly votes for Future. But I would think like what kind of crowd is voting for Doechii over those two guys is my question.
True. You see how the NBA does it right now with the All-Stars? It's definitely far from perfect. But I do like the fact that it's weighted by different parties.
Fan, coaches, and like fan, player, media.
Yeah, so the media is technically, I guess, the Grammy board.
Yes.
Right, and then the fans is us.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting. I think my biggest issue is them having popularity be a part of it in certain circumstances. Like sometimes popularity is important and sometimes it's not. So it's like, I would like take popularity out of it completely and we can just say, this is the best album. Because there are times when an album can be very popular and very good. Think about Outkast, The Love Below, Speaker Box, or Billie Eilish with her last few projects, or even Beyonce with some of her projects. But there are some times where it's like, this album is very popular, but do I think it's actually better than these other albums? So
who would you have given Album of the Year to?
You know the answer to that one. J. Cole might delete later.
Rap Album of the Year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think if we incorporated the percentages that we all just went by, I feel like M might have a stronger chance, personally.
I think Future was going to win.
And actually, that to me, that was the best Rap Album of the Year. That was the first one that got nominated, not the second one.
Yeah, the first one.
Cool.
And like that like Impact, honestly, that should be the one because that album changed the whole year of hip hop.
Yeah,
like,
the landscape of 2024 changed.
Yeah, the year hip hop forever changed when that album came out.
Fair enough.
You know, fair enough. In reality, if we're gonna go off Impact, like if Kendrick wins 5, Grammys,
how can that album not? Yeah, true.
So
it was an amazing produced album. Like, Metro and Mike Dean, those two, if you put them on your project, you're walking away with gold.
Yep.
Yeah.
Chris, I got something special for Adriel.
Ooh, what's up?
We picked his most hated artist. I'm joking. I'm going to cut that.
The propaganda continues.
I'm joking. All right, Adriel. I need you to do me a favor.
Okay.
I need you to blind rank these 5 Kendrick songs. This is after the Super Bowl. Okay? He just performed. So I need you to blind rank these 5 Kendrick songs. Are you ready?
I'm looking forward to this because Kendrick has some songs that I absolutely love and some songs that I don't care for.
Okay.
So I'm hoping we can get a mix so I can just throw some of these songs at 5, even 6, if I need to.
Even 6.
Yeah. But you're putting DNA 1, right?
The hate propaganda continues.
We'll see.
The first song, we're going with Duckworth. The last song on Damn in 2017.
We can go with 5.
Putting Duckworth at 5. Okay, that was a really good album outro. All right, let's see. The next song on Good Kid, Mad City, we're going Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst.
I know everyone loves Sing About Me. I'm not a Sing About Me guy, so I'll put that at 4.
Wow. Okay.
But I know the streets love Sing About Me.
Okay, comments, let us know how you feel. The next song we're going is Money Trees.
Number 1. Number 1. That's an easy one.
Okay. Then we're going Humble.
I wish I could put this at 7. Like, I do not like this. Can I change my list?
So you have 4, 5, and 1.
Can we put Humble at 5 and then move?
No, you got
you're locked
2 and 3, brother.
Can I put it at like 10? Like this unranked? Like,
wow.
Unlisted?
Like I don't
like get the clicks.
I don't like the song in general.
Okay.
And I've seen that song live a few times. And I may tell you the story before off mic, but the last time I saw Kendrick live was the championship tour, all of TDE. And he did Humble.
Mr. Morale.
Oh, sorry, I forgot Mr. Morale too. So this is before the last time. That's how many times I've seen this guy. But he did Humble like 5 times. Almost like when Travis Scott did Fiend a million times. Kendrick tried that with Humble and tried to get the crowd to like sing along a cappella. Think about a crowd trying to rap that. It just does not sound good. And the song was already not great, but it made the song even worse. And he literally kept going. The crowd was struggling through the verses and he said, "One more time." I said, "What are you listening to right now?" So Humble, I guess it's at 3, but I wish I could put it lower.
I love the propaganda. Let it continue. Let it flow through you.
Love Kendrick. Huge Kendrick fan.
It's okay. And then the last song I had was Swimming Pools.
Also don't love swimming pools, but I guess it has to be number 2. Yeah.
Okay. So what is your personal top 3? We'll take Money Trees out because you automatically put that at 1.
Okay. High Power. Big fan of High Power. Probably Poe Man's Dreams with him and GLC. And this, I guess this one counts, but when he did his cover of Tale of Two Cities with Black Friday with him and J. Cole, when he took over that J. Cole song, that one's up there for me.
Okay, so we got some super early Kendrick and an unreleased Kendrick.
Oh yeah, I'm a fan.
All right, cool.
I'm a fan.
All right, man. On to the next topic. I'm not going to delve on this one too much. It's post-Super Bowl, guys.
Mm-hmm.
We're recording this before the Super Bowl, so I'm just going to play it safe for the team. You guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
Shout outs to the Philadelphia Eagles.
Play it safe for the team.
Jalen Hurts, top performance. Saquon Barkley, top running back. Shout outs to you guys for winning your first Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts, one of the top black QBs. No, sorry, scratch that. One of the top QBs in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're all good?
Yep.
All right, we're recording this before, so we're going to do it again. Shout outs to the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and the boys. The first ever three-peat. A lot of people didn't think you could do it, but it's okay. Us at the Mayor's Office podcast, we believed in you, and we never doubted you for a second.
Before we move on, I want to talk parlays. Okay, we have Parlay Prince over here. Where are you putting your money at? Where you putting your money at?
Or where did you put your money at?
Yeah, where did you put your money at?
Well, funny you ask. I've been, I've been looking through it this week. Actually, the last 2 weeks, just rolling in the app, putting together some different options. Seeing what I'm looking at right now. Hot off the top, maybe not a hot take, but I got. Who do I got? Oh my God, Goddard on the tight end for the Phillies.
Okay.
I think he's gonna pull one in. He's good in the playoffs.
Okay.
I'm probably gonna go. If I'm doing parlays, I'm probably going Saquon TD, Goddard TD, and then I'm thinking Patrick Mahomes over 200.
That's safe.
Over 200 for a safe. Maybe I'll just go 250 and just think he's gonna ball out. I'm still playing with it, but that's what I'm leaning towards. Maybe I might even slide. Playoff Kelsey's back. I already hit on him earlier in the playoffs. He didn't have a great year.
Yeah, he did. He struggled in the last game.
Yeah, he struggled in the last game, but I feel like it's a Super Bowl. He's been there before. He's been in those lights. He's played Philly in the Super Bowl. So I could see him getting in. Patrick Mahomes like to use him. Pacheco, man, there's a lot of options. I really got to dial it in.
You got to do a couple parlays just to get everything safe.
That's a risk. That's risky.
You're not going to do a Saquon, over 150 or something like that? Like,
I'll probably, I want to, but
Hurts anytime off a tush push.
Hurts anytime's a safe play too.
Yeah.
Hurts anytime's a safe play. If they can control Saquon and he gets less than 100, then I think it's the Chiefs game. I think if Saquon can run north-south and he can just run downfield, I think they're gonna have a really good round. But
Chris, I'm praying for you because the Super Bowl, as the listeners will get this, is already done.
True.
So you either made money or you didn't make money. So is there something you want to tell yourself from the past?
I want to say, Chris, great picks this week, man. You really dialed in. You put together the perfect parlay. And hopefully when I link up for the Super Bowl party, hopefully I'm going to put some bread in all my friends' pockets. Hopefully they're going to tail me if they're smart and they know what's good for them. But if they want to lose money, then don't tail me. That's fine. But good job, Chris. Great picks. You know what? When I win, I'll share my little spread. What I finally put in, I'll share.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna get some new cameras in here, mics, and maybe a stripper. I'm gonna delete that.
Allegedly.
So guys, is it cool if I switch the topic to the NBA? Is that all good?
It's about that time.
Couple things to talk about.
Yeah, for sure. So we're after the trade deadline. A lot of moves have been made. A lot of blockbuster trades. Okay. I got a question for you guys. If you guys are a GM of a franchise, do you prefer mid-season trades, like around this time of year, or do you prefer off-season trades? What's the direction that you would want to go in?
I think it depends on the kind of team you have. But I think if you're just saying in general, it's off season, you got time to gel with the team. You got time to have training camp, learn, how things are going to go. But I am kind of a fan of mid-season trades for teams trying to win a title.
Mm-hmm.
Like with the Raptors, that helped us. We got Marc Gasol.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we don't win without Marc Gasol. Back in the day, Rasheed Wallace going to the Pistons.
Speaking of Dallas, like last year they had one of the better mid-season trades.
Gafford and Washington. So I think like it's chemistry can't always be there with the mid-season trades, but I do think it gives a team like a jolt of energy. It's almost like a new guy in there, especially because some of these guys are coming from teams that are not going anywhere. Like the guys we mentioned, Memphis wasn't going anywhere when Marc Gasol was with them. You join a Raptors team that has Kawhi, Kyle Lowry, Pascal. You're like, okay, now I'm playing for something. So I do like the mid-season trades in terms of just like giving a jolt of energy to the team. And then a lot of times when you have guys who haven't even won before, been in the playoffs before, you're like playing for your teammates even more. Like, I want to see this guy win. I want to see this guy succeed. So
Yeah.
I think maybe I'm convincing myself. Mid-season is actually the answer.
Yeah, I do like off-season just if you are a player, you get that time to find a new house, move, get your family sorted, mentally get yourself in check and ready to go. So I do like that aspect of it. Plus training camp, you can go into training camp fresh with new teammates. But yeah, there's positives and negatives on both sides.
Yeah.
And it also
from a human perspective, that's very nice of you.
I try my best.
Not a GM perspective.
Yeah, I am a human.
Yeah.
So. As a GM, I think I would prefer a mid-season trade, especially if my team's in contention.
Yeah.
I think adding that little extra push sometimes, or just getting that player off of your team to get some picks when another team is desperate for him, it kind of works out better. As a GM, if you are in trade negotiations in the offseason, the other side has a lot of time to think about the finesse you might pull on them.
That's a good
Mid-season, take this player, man. He's good, you'll take him.
Yeah.
And then it can, play off. You have more opportunity to finesse.
And it's the pressure. I think like a team in the moment, you can really feel like I'm in a certain spot. I have to get this done. Like in the offseason, like someone had this quote, they said, in the offseason, everyone's 0-0. So everyone can feel like their season's going to go well or we're going to do better. But in the season, you could be, 5 games under 500, and you're like, okay, we got to do something. And then that can maybe get a team a better trade than they would get otherwise because, you're nervous. But in the offseason, it's like, we're in no rush. Like, we can make the trade, not make the trade. So I think midseason might be the actual answer. Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it goes back to just depending on what you need. Like, you got to figure out by this time in the season, you know where you stand, you know what you're trying to do. You're either trying to push or you're just trying to roll out the rest of the year. And if you got a hole that you can plug and you can pick someone up from a team that's trying to sell, it's a good opportunity for both sides where they can get something of value back. You're going to be able to fill a position. I like filling up those, if you have a good starting lineup, and you have a few holes you want to plug, maybe on depth, maybe on defense, maybe off the bench, I think that's a good spot to look for. Because if you're already poised to go all the way, you have a lot of the key assets, but what's going to get you over that hump? And if you have a guy who's won before that you can bring in, they're going to bring in that mentality, help with the guys who haven't, especially if they're a younger team. But I think really you just got to look at like where you're at and then figure out what holes to plug. But you don't want to change up the chemistry too much because you're already getting there. You don't want to you don't want to swap cars. You already got a good vehicle that's getting you on your way, but what's going to give you that little extra insurance,
Fair enough. So if you were a GM, and you too, Adriel, if you guys were GMs, starting fresh, it's an expansion draft, right?
Okay.
Are you building your team for the future, or are you trying to win a chip immediately?
Personally, I'm trying to win immediately. I think in most sports, we kind of overblow the idea of the future because in reality, a team's window is 3 or 4 years.
That's a good point.
But you feel like we have a young player, a young star. And we're talking about the Chiefs, sometimes you get a situation where it is like that, the Spurs and the NBA. That happens sometimes. But I think of the Kings and the Blackhawks of a few years ago. It felt like those teams would be, doing that for the next decade. And they had, 4 or 5 years. But after that, it was done. And so I think in our minds, we always think it's going to be 10 years. But, it usually is 3 or 4 years. And then maybe you're still a good team, but you're not contending. So I would try and build my team for can we win in the next 3 years? And then once we win, I'll kind of reset everything and, see if we can build on that.
I feel like teams now do not give enough grace and time and patience for development and program development. There's no more 4 years, we're going to develop a program and get the right guys in and develop them and work with them. There's not a lot of that anymore. It's what's happening immediately. This player is a lottery pick. If we don't see immediate returns by the end of year 2, then we got to figure out if we're going to keep him or not. When in reality, these guys that are coming in from college, they're very young. Once some of them might hit their stride once they hit 24.
True. You got to give some time for them to develop.
Exactly. And a lot of GMs now, they don't have a lot of patience, and you're kind of seeing it in the product. Like, I do think an expansion draft is necessary because there's some top players from the last 5 drafts that are probably in China right now or in Europe right now when they just didn't get the opportunity they truly needed. Look at the Rockets. Cam Whitmore is a very talented player.
Reed Shepherd's in the G League.
Reed Shepherd's in the G League. That is a guy that if you put him on a different program, give him 3 years, he can be a really talented player.
I want to know what you think about this in terms of teams actually trying to keep a player who maybe they shouldn't, in a sense. Like, I always think about the Celtics with Marcus Smart. And he was like their longest tenured player, was with the team forever, their identity. And once they traded him, I'm not saying he was a problem, but like, you know, it wasn't been hard to trade him. Yeah. And once they traded him, they won a championship. And it's same with the Raptors with DeRozan, where it's like these guys you're kind of tied to and you're holding on to. And maybe that person can be the key of you, like, getting a better player and winning. Yeah. But because you're so emotionally attached to these players, you don't want to do that. So how do you feel about that? Because I think a lot of teams have that kind of, you know, thing they have with this player where it's like, I don't want to, he's the part of the franchise. Yeah. The fans love him. But we've seen it happen before where you trade that guy, you bring in someone new, and your team can be just as good, sometimes better.
No, I agree with that. That's a great question. So when it comes to the youth movement, I do think that less patience is necessary. Now, if your team is already championship quality and you cannot foresee yourselves winning a chip within the next 3 years, then you have to make some type of change. I think with youth, you have to have patience and see how they develop. But I think if your team is already paid out, the salaries are already big. Like you mentioned DeMar. DeMar was getting paid max dollars. Yeah. Kyle's getting paid big money. Once you have these things going on and you can't foresee yourself getting over the hump within the next 2 to 3 years, which, to be fair, Masai gave them multiple years, right? Yeah, and I'm just using the Raptors as an example, right?
Well, that's the least right now. That's kind of why I mentioned is like, that's the least right now. And there's a lot of players in the least people don't want to think about trading. I think Matthews just should be untradeable. We saw what happened with Luka, so who knows? But I think of like the guys like Marner where it's like, you why would you trade someone this good? But it's like maybe, you know, it becomes something else. So I think about that with a team where it's like a team can get stale. You know, you can be very good for years, but maybe it's just not the right, you know, group of guys. They're not
the right mix
environment. So I feel like teams should be more open to that, where it's like maybe I'm trading a more talented player, because at the time JV was better than Marc Gasol. You know, at that time when Marc Gasol was at the end of his career, could barely really move. But it's maybe the fit that is more personality-wise and play style. So I think that's a big part of it where this guy is so talented, it's like, I don't know if I really should trade him, but maybe it's a different type of, you know, energy and play style that would help the team as a whole.
Yeah, I think it also depends on, like, I think a lot of teams get tied into because they see the value in the player and they want to make sure they're getting back something as close as they can, right? And sometimes that's not out there. Sometimes you're like, all right, well, we could lose this. Or then you also got to think about what their contract's at, right? If they're unrestricted free agent at the end of the year, RFA, or if they're in the middle of a contract, right? Like you gotta see what you're getting back, because it's hard for a team to just let go of something. But like, if I bring it back to the Leafs, like you were saying, with Marner specifically, I see the rationale for both sides where they're like, keep him, you know, get rid of him. He can't produce in the playoffs. I think this year is going to be a big tell. I'd like them to figure it out before. At this point, I'm thinking, I'm back. I don't know if you remember at the end of last year, I was probably telling to trade him. I was probably leaning that way. Yeah. But he's having a great year. He's having a great season. In a lot of ways, he's been a great player for most of the year. And I wouldn't want it to have that kind of asset walk. Is going to be crazy, especially when in the hockey, the cap's going up. We're going to have more money. So I know they're negotiating with him. We got issues with Tavares. This is his last year. Are we going to re-sign him? Is he going to take a hometown discount? There's just so many factors in the value of the player, what you have to give, what you can spend if you're under a cap situation.
Yeah.
But it's a tricky one, man. It's a tricky one.
Yeah, it's really tough, you know? And the thing I think about is, like, I always tell my dad, like, I look at how a team is talking in their press conferences when the season starts. What are the expectations for themselves? What's the energy of the team? That's how I can see like how a team is feeling in terms of if they're going to win or not. And a lot of times teams will give credit to certain players when they win a championship that you're not thinking of. Like, you know, when the Celtics won in 08, they all talked about James Posey. Every player on the team talked about James Posey. James Posey didn't play that much. But all the players talk about how he kept us calm. He was a guy, like he helped us keep a good attitude.
Glue guy.
You know, so it's like, maybe it's like and I think we thought Tavares would be that for us in a sense. You know, we thought he would kind of be like the veteran to keep everyone together. But maybe it's like your team doesn't need the talent. You know, you need a glue guy that will help everyone compete and feel calm. So I think it's hard to kind of quantify a guy like that in a sense. And that's why those guys don't always get traded for. But I do think, like, for me, the build for the future idea is very overrated in all team sports. I think it's super overrated. What you want is a young guy. You want a young guy that's amazing. You want
Luka.
You want the Luka, the Wemby. You don't want the young guy who's like still trying to figure it out. Like how Grady Dick was in his first season.
Yeah.
You don't want that guy. How Grady Dick is playing now, and that makes a little more sense. So,
but that goes with patience. I feel like there's a lot of teams that would drop a guy like Grady Dick after his first year.
For sure. And you know what I think too is like he's almost lucky that he played with us. That we weren't any good. Because he would be where Reed Shepherd is now in the G League still.
Yeah.
Because Reed Shepherd could be a future All-Star one day, but he may never get the chance because Houston's trying to trade for another point guard, they're saying. They got Fred VanVleet still. Jalen Green's on a big contract. Thompson's playing point guard now. So it's like, you're right. It's like the patience of giving the young player the chance. Like he may never get it because of the team he's on.
Fair.
Yeah. Do you think like some teams maybe have more of a luxury with that? Like say you're like a team where your fan base is showing up any day of the week, right? Like they're selling out, they're doing well in tickets, whether you're winning or losing, right? There's few franchises that are like that, right? You're filling seats. You're probably more poised to be like, okay, well, let's build this. Let's do it proper. We got, we're not under any constraints with costs. But then you have those teams where like they're just trying to get seats in there. They're just trying to, get something, and they're struggling. Like they probably need to win now.
No, there's
to
a
get
lot
some
of
people back in the
factors.
environment.
There's a lot of factors.
Yeah.
There's character guys. It's how many jersey sales are going on, how many ticket sales are going on, like the location of the team. Can you sign free agents? Can you not? There's a ton of factors that go into sports. I guess we're just making this very black and white, but there's a lot of individual things that go into it. Like Toronto can't sign a major free agent in basketball. Like it's just what it is, But we're a great franchise. Like we're a winning franchise, at least recently. So there's so many little factors.
And who else is on the team? I think that's a big part of it too.
100%.
Like there may be a big star on the team who they're afraid to trade, or the fans love him even though he's not playing well. Like I think about when we had Rudy Gay. It's like that was a big deal for us at the time.
Yeah.
And it's funny now. It's like, look at DeMar DeRozan's career and Rudy Gay's career. No one would say Rudy Gay is better than DeMar DeRozan. But at the time, it was like...
I think we should have blew up the Raptors the Tampa year.
Yeah.
Just like how OKC blew up the Russ and PG Thunder. And now look where they're at now. I think we should have blew that whole
That's
team
a good
up.
point. Because we did get Scotty Barnes with that draft pick. So it worked out in a sense.
But that was our own draft pick from being bad. Like I would have got rid of
traded Kyle,
Fred, Kyle, Pascal, and just call it a day.
OG even. Because we ended up getting rid of all those guys.
Regardless, right? So
yeah.
It's crazy how things happen. But that was an end of an era.
In Masai we trust.
In Masai we trust.
Got to.
Speaking of endings, there's a lot of television shows that we watch out there. Great shows. Top tier shows from start to maybe not finish. Is there a show out there that just comes to mind that you guys felt either had a bad final episode or a bad final season?
Yep.
Go ahead.
Sopranos, man.
Yeah, I knew it.
Yeah, I was like, who's going to say this first? Me or Adriel?
You feel like the last season or the last episode?
It's strictly mainly the last episode. Like
The
last
cut to
season
black
was
you weren't
chill.
fucking with?
Nah, when it just cut to black and it was like they're all sitting around and it was just like, okay,
Yeah.
anticlimactic.
Yeah. You know what's funny? The other one is last season of Fresh Prince. Last season of Fresh Prince.
It wasn't that good.
It wasn't as funny, and it was kind of like the tone wasn't the same. Like it was still a comedy, but the tone was definitely like it's ending. It's the world's like coming to an end in a sense,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of like you didn't have to do that whole tone of the whole season. You know what I mean? So that's when I'll see the Sopranos. Sopranos, I think the main issue with the Fade to Black ending is it's like, I get it. It could be either nothing happened or he gets shot. But I think how they set up that whole like season and end scene, we still gotta know what happens after he gets shot. Like, it's not like Tony gets shot and like nothing happens. You know, still something has to happen after in terms of, does everyone else go to jail? Who's in charge next? Like, so that's the whole part, is like, even that scene itself wasn't a proper end because there's still dominoes to fall if Tony is shot. And even if he isn't, there's still dominoes to fall. So that's probably number one for me.
Nice. I agree with both of you guys' picks, for sure. I think I was going to go with the easy one with Game of Thrones. That final season was just absolutely terrible. But everybody knows that. I think one that a lot of people forgot is has a bad final season was Dexter.
Oh, yes. You're right. I forgot about that.
I think Dexter had a really bad final season, and that was a show that for the first 4 seasons was top level television. So I really fuck with Dexter, and the fact that they're bringing it back and kind of retconning a few things they did a Dexter New Blood, which was like him and his son.
Did you like that?
It was okay. It wasn't that great, but the production quality was better. And then now they're doing Dexter Original Sin, which is like a prequel. And then I just saw that they're doing a Dexter Resurrections, which is him and his son coming back to Miami. So I don't know how that's going to all play out.
They're really milking it.
It's the Dexter cinematic universe going on. So
it's like Spider-Man all over
for
again.
that. So
The Dexter MCU is crazy. Like,
and then for an animated show, growing up, the Teen Titans cartoon.
I didn't see the end of that. How did it end?
It was just a random episode. Like, it just felt like it wasn't a season finale. Like, Beast Boy was looking for Tara and Slade was around, and like, it was just a weird last episode, but it didn't feel like it was a conclusion. It just felt like a random episode in the middle of a season, and they put it at the end. And it just felt weird. And then they came out with new Teen Titans shows that I didn't get the closure that I wanted as a millennial. So
you know what I want to know what Chris thinks about this one is Entourage. I did not like the end of Entourage. And I thought that, like, I get it. It's like, how do you even end a show like Entourage? But it's like, I think how he got married was so abrupt, and it was such a random woman. Like, that's the part that's like, of all the women he was with the whole show, it's like, at least let him like spin the block on someone, long lost love. Like, this woman you met 2 episodes before, you're now like marrying and running away with. Like, that's a part that was kind of,
it was like a phone it in kind of ending almost.
it was.
Yeah, that's a part that I feel like was crazy to me. Did you like that ending?
No, it was just like, it just didn't make sense. It doesn't really. Well, maybe it does, because he's kind of like a wild like playboy. Maybe he would just meet a girl.
No, I think he would, but I just feel like the girl it was making it be so random is like, he didn't even like come at her with that energy. He came at her on some like, yo, let's get it on tonight. And then 48 hours later, he's like, I want to marry this girl.
Yeah, like maybe if he went back and like, remember that porn star that he was dating for a while?
That's what I was thinking too, yeah.
Where they were like drinking tequila, just getting fucked up all the time.
Because he was into her. Like, they were toxic, but he was into her.
Yeah. That would have been a better one, I think.
I just went on ChatGPT just to see what they had as the worst final episodes of television. So we got Game of Thrones, the Iron Throne, Dexter, crazy we said that. How I Met Your Mother, that was a bad last episode.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen that.
Lost, The End, and Sopranos. So I think we hit the nail on the head for most of the picks.
Okay, good job. Oh yeah, sorry. The actual good endings. Mad Men. The whole last season, they actually wrapped up a bunch. Like, I was very impressed with how they wrapped up almost every single storyline. Even Betty getting sick and dying, like, wasn't seeing that coming, but like, that was something that wrapped up pretty well. And then him like kind of finding peace in the end.
Yeah.
Interesting, in an interview, he said that he took it, like John Hamm took it as that was just like a blip. And he's like, in my mind, 6 months later, Don was drinking again. Even though in the show, it felt like he kind of found peace, you know?
Yeah, he's like standing on that mountain.
Yeah. So I thought that was good. And then the other good one, which maybe to me my favorite ending of a show, is The Office.
Okay.
Because that like your feel good moment, the wedding, everything. It's kind of like, and having Steve Carell come back too, I think was like a big surprise at the time. But just having like a feel good moment to end a show, you rarely get like a moment like that. I think a lot of these shows try and end it like morose or different energy. And it's like, if this show was like happy-go-lucky for like 7 seasons, you can't give me 3 sad episodes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it makes more sense to still end on a happy note. And I think like The Office really did that. Like that last episode it had some shenanigans. It was funny. It was goofy. Like it had all the beats, but it wasn't regular because it wasn't in The Office. So it was like, okay, this feels special still, but it still feels like the same show. So those two are the two for me.
That's good. I like those. Especially the Office one. It's rare that comedies have a good last episode.
Yeah.
Except Good Place. I don't know if anybody's watched Good Place.
Good Place is a good one.
That's one of the best final episodes I've ever watched. And then also Breaking Bad. Final episode of Breaking Bad.
Yes.
Was amazing. Like it tied the knot. It came full circle. Like seeing Walt die and spoilers, seeing Walt die and Jesse escape
10 years later.
It worked out nice.
That's been my theory why that show is so loved is because they did the ending right. I think all the shows we're talking about, you get to like season 3 or 4 where everyone's watching now. Game of Thrones, Sopranos, starts off slow. By the end, everyone's like actually watching. And Breaking Bad probably tied it up the best of all these shows. The Wire had a good ending as well. I think Breaking Bad's still a little better ending, but I think that's why everyone loves that show so much is because by the time you were in and then they wrapped it up properly, it was like, okay, this is perfect. Game of Thrones, not everyone was watching the first 3-4 seasons.
No, not really.
And then once everyone hopped in, there were some really high moments. But for it to end so low after everyone tapped in, you're like, what did I even tap in for? So that's Breaking Bad, I think, is overrated because of that. It's like the ending was so good that everyone gives it couple extra points.
Definitely.
I don't know. That might be one of the perfect mix of shows because I don't think there was I can't think of a bad season for Breaking Bad. Like I don't think they had
I think
one.
Breaking Bad is the most well-rounded, consistent, well-rounded television show like ever. Like there's not, as you said, there's not one bad season. It does. Season 1 is a little slow.
Yeah.
Compared to what happens after,
So we start off in the desert in your underwear and end off killing neo-Nazis.
Yeah.
So it's like
what a crazy
show. So
it's an interesting rewatch though. That's the one thing I think about Breaking Bad is when you rewatch it, if you guys have, it's a totally different rewatch. Because you like when you're watching the first time, everything is surprising. I remember the first time even seeing like Walter have sex with his wife when he like finds out he has cancer. I was like, you know.
Mash your head off the fridge.
All of that. So it's like
throwing the pizza on the roof.
It's not the same the second time around when it's like, 1, you know how it ends. But 2, it's like all these twists and turns. You've already seen Walter be the OG.
Yeah.
You know, so seeing it the second time is like not in the same vibe.
He went from a high school chemistry teacher to a drug lord.
Yeah,
making
like
millions and millions of dollars. It's crazy.
Yeah, and it was crazy when the cop, his brother-in-law, found out that it was him, and they connected that on the toilet.
Yeah,
that was a good season finale. Actually, that was one of the best season finales.
I can't see that guy, the actor, the brother. Other than that, like I've seen him in so much stuff now.
Hank Schrader.
Yeah, I seen him in other stuff now, but I still see him as like But he's played a Fed in other shows.
Yes,
But I always see him as a Fed. I'm like, no matter what he's doing, I'm like, nah, he's a Fed at heart.
He's a great actor though, for sure. Those are some good choices, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Flew by.
It didn't even feel like it's been an hour.
Yep.
But I guess time flies when you're having fun. And the last time I said that phrase, time flies when you're having fun, was last episode when Claudia was here. Claudia, I gotta let you know, I'm still not convinced on the 17 minutes of foreplay. I'm just putting it out there.
You got stuff to do.
Yeah, unless it's like 8.5 minutes each, and we have a timer.
We should ask her.
Am I just doing foreplay for 17 minutes?
But she did say, if for a woman, it takes 17 minutes to be properly aroused.
Then Claudia, you lost me. But you guys let us know in the comments if you guys, since last episode, have practiced the 17 minutes. You had 2 weeks to do it.
Valentine's Day is coming up.
Come on.
We got a special treat for y'all.
We do.
I really put my life on the line for content. So
you did.
I hope that you guys really enjoy it. It was fun for me. What did you guys think about, the little thing we did?
Yeah, the video was good. I guess this episode comes out before the blind date. So you guys are in for a treat. Shout outs to Alicia. She did a really good job. Shout outs to Adriel because he was blindfolded for a good hour and a half.
Yeah.
And he kept his wits about him. He kept his energy up. I would have fell asleep.
It was
but shout outs to Alicia. Shout outs to Adriel. You guys both were looking fly in different ways.
Yes.
But definitely both looking fly. Yeah, me and Chris had some fun just seeing what was going on in the background, but I think you guys are in for a treat for sure.
I think my favorite part is her also dissing my fit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because when I came in, you gave my fit a compliment.
I was fucking with your fit.
And I thought it was good too.
She just likes a different type of guy.
No, we know what type of guy she is.
She wants a 6'8" demigod.
Not even that. She wants a thug. Like,
oh yeah, true.
She was like, "Have you been in a fight before?" And then was upset when I said I hadn't been in a fight.
Damn.
And she wants flowers to her job as well. That was interesting. But the best part was I posted my fit online afterwards, and everyone in the comments was loving my fit, giving me love.
Oh man, we gotta let Alicia know, man.
So I think, I don't want to tell a woman she's wrong, but
hey man, the proof's in the pudding.
The proof is in the pudding.
But you guys check it out. We got a lot of big things coming actually. Shout outs to certain podcasts in the city we're gonna be connecting with very soon, and then we have our blind date episode coming out, and then March is Women's Month, and we got some big plans for Women's Month.
Every month is Women's Month.
Facts. And every day is Valentine's Day if you're in love.
Exactly.
Facts. All right, so episode 70 of the Mayor's Office podcast. You guys already know what we do to close the episode. We got our animation suggestion, we got our non-rap suggestion, and we have a very special creator showcase. Sounds good? Mm-hmm. All right, my animation suggestion. I wish I could have gave it to you guys a little bit earlier. But it's all good. We're still here. I need you guys to go on your Netflix. Go to another video game adaptation. It's called Castlevania. The first series was out. It was about 4 seasons of epic class. Then they came out with the spinoff, Nocturne. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. It takes place about 300 years after the original series, based off a couple of the video games.
Oh, I remember this. Okay. I'm like, it's the same Castlevania I know about.
Yeah. So Nocturne is the spinoff of it. They did season 2. Chef's kiss. Beautiful. Loved it. Started my 2025 off really good with my animation, so I'm happy about that. You guys check it out. Castlevania Nocturne season 2. Non-rap suggestions. How you feeling, Chris?
Feeling good, man. Feeling good. You want me to run mine?
Before we get to that, I want people to get in the comments and give us a review of Ralph's reviews. I never know how people feel about your reviews. I trust them, obviously. I've known you for quite some years, but I don't know. If you're watching the, animation that Ralph is suggesting, get in the comments on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Let us know how you think. If you think his suggestion was whack, say that. If you think
let me know.
It was good.
You think it's too popular? If you don't think it's popular enough, I could just say Naruto and Pokemon every episode. Like, let me know.
And give us some suggestions. Like, I'm sure Ralph would like to be put on too. So that's 2025. I want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think about his suggestions? Because we're just kind of, I'm
going with the flow.
And I'm trusting him, but I'm like, I want to see what you guys think as well.
Yeah, I like it. Review the review, and then if you have a good review, maybe we'll review your review on the review.
Yes.
What's your non-rap suggestion? Come on, nigga.
So I got for this week, I have Sofa King by Royal Otis. They're kind of like an indie band. I've Oysters in My Pocket. I think I referenced a while ago, but this is off their new album. I probably should have had it up, but I didn't. Anyway, it's Prats and Pain. It Ain't Over Till It Ends edition. That's the name of the album. And Royal Otis, pretty good track.
All right, shout out to you, man. Fuck with that.
I'll go next. This one is an album out of Toronto. I'm trying to keep it Canadian for 2025.
Oh, I like it.
Canadian non-rap suggestions. You're not going to hear Griselda Blanco on this part of the podcast.
Rats.
This one's from Charlie Houston. The song's called I Need You. She just put her debut album out. People have compared her to Billie Eilish. I don't really get that vibe from her. But I was actually impressed with her project. But this song in particular sounds nothing like the project. Complete different vibe. But if you know the band Men I Trust, it's more of that kind of vibe. So I like this one from her. I Need You, Charlie Houston.
That's dope. Shout outs to the Toronto musicians out there, the Canadian musicians out there. We got love for you. Don't worry. We'll stream your music.
Juno's coming up.
Juno's coming up, yeah. Mm-hmm. And you got to convince this media guy over here for a lot of things sometimes. All right. For me, I think I got the most like the biggest artist here. I should have went a little more obscure, but here we are. You guys know me. I like going on my Marvel movie binge.
Yeah.
Rewatch Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. They had a song by Bruce Springsteen on it. It was called Badlands. Love the song.
That movie has a great soundtrack too.
Yeah, all three of them. All
Yeah,
three of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Shout out to James Gunn.
Yeah.
Hopefully, because he's directing Superman,
Mhm.
hopefully Superman has a good soundtrack.
I would like that. That's a movie that should have a good soundtrack. It should fit.
One would hope. So we already told you that every month is Women's Month, but it's okay. We want to tell you about a special woman that is our creator showcase. Adriel, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good. If we get to show some women some love, I'm obviously here for it.
Come on.
Oh, I'm leading this one?
Yeah, don't worry. I'll edit all of this.
So we're shouting out Dupe. She has been doing a lot more stuff on TikTok, and I'm a big fan of her. She's a journalist as well, news entertainment reporter. But shout out to Dupe. You can find her on Instagram at dupe.ca. But big fan. And I think that she's someone who people should really follow for just anything entertainment news, because she's actually giving you the breakdowns. You know, people want to know what's going on. Like,
Thanks.
she's coming to you with the breakdowns, explaining things. So big shout out to Dupe, dupe.ca on Instagram.
Dupe, you're on the rise, you're growing. Dupe, you're on the rise, you're growing, you're doing your thing. So keep posting your TikToks, keep posting your videos, keep posting this content. This summer, got to see you at different events, and just keep doing you and be the best you can be. This is an example of someone that consistently posts and doesn't feel no ways about what anybody has to say because they're posting quality content. So shout outs to Dupe.
Big up Dupe.
Adriel, Chris, 70 episodes, 32 years of age, 31 years of age,
Allegedly.
27 years of age. Let's talk to these people. Let's close this out.
You guys know what to do. Leave us a rating and a review on all your podcast platforms. 5 stars.
My bad, actually. I actually promised somebody. They wished me happy birthday, and I promised I was going to shout them out on the pod. A longtime listener. Shout outs to JC Hall. That's my guy.
The JC.
The JC.
Okay.
JC stands for John Cannon.
Yeah, you know, living legend.
So shout outs to JC. I promised I was going to shout you out on the podcast, so there it is.
Big shout out to JC.
Got you in the last minute.
Didn't forget about you at all. But yeah, leave us a rating and a review. 5 stars, not a single star less. Follow us on the interwebs and find us on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button and hit that little bell. You can see for notifications. You can see every single video that we drop. And until next time, know yourself, know your worth.